Okay, this is the Boxing Hangout with your host, Ingram Jones. Today, we're only a few hours away from the big one. David Price versus Audley Harrison. So let's get straight into it. You've heard all the views so far. You've heard my view, thinking that Audley's going to win the fight. But a lot of people are going for David Price, and I can understand why they would go for David Price. The younger, fresher man, 2 inches tall, 2 or 3 inches taller, more powerful puncher, unbeaten, full of desire, hasn't put a foot wrong since turning pro, and now he's signed with Box Nation. So his career seems to go all in the right direction. With his manager Frank Maloney, so the man that managed Lennox Lewis to heavyweight glory and the undisputed title. And then you've got Audley Harrison, a force who's been more of an a farce. A lot of people are quite harsh on Audley. Audley is his own worst enemy, to be quite honest, because he tried to do things his own way. He tried to manage, box, promote, did it all at once. And I guess the one thing about Audley Harrison you can't knock is that without an Audley Harrison, there would not be a Hatton promotion, a Kawasaki promotion, a Khan promotion. Audley Harrison set a trend, and that's something we cannot forget. So in that way, he paved the way for many other boxers to, manage themselves or promote themselves, which is fantastic stuff. Keeping more money for themselves. Unfortunately, Audley tried to do everything his own way. You kind of wonder if Audley wasn't promoting, managing, and fighting, and had so much control of his career that way. Maybe if he had a manager like a Frank Maloney, things may have gone differently in his career. Today in his career, Audley has more or less not produced the goods in the way we would have hoped him to have gone on to become world heavyweight champion. And one of the funny things is, he was quoted by saying that he could win the British title within 5 fights. Well, 10 years on from that quote, he's actually fighting for a British title. So I guess that quote, whether it was said, whether it was Audley that said it himself, would have haunted Audley for many years. And now, 10 years on, if he doesn't beat David Price, he would never have won a British title ever. Which is, quite a sad point. But he has gone and won the European title. He got a revenge after being knocked up by Michael Sprott. Really, he got knocked up by Sprott, being overconfident, walked onto a big shot. Whereas in the second fight, Sprott really was taking a fight to him. And it wasn't until the 12th round that he pulled out that big left hand and closed the show. But this David Price fight, really a lot of people are pointing to the David Haye performance, where Audley says he turned up for the money, really, and didn't turn up to actually want to win the world heavyweight title. Said he was injured, and has given us a story. Now I call this fight as the guy that cried wolf. Now Audley has cried wolf a few times in his career, and he's not come up with the goods. And a lot of people are saying he's going to get knocked out in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Now, Price himself in the amateurs has been dropped. He also in the amateurs has had a habit of quitting when he's been put under pressure. Now, what has changed between then and now? Well, we don't know. We don't know how David Price is going to react to being hit on the chin, and we don't know how David Price is going to react when the pressure is being put on him. We do know how Audley reacts when pressure is put on him. We do know how Audley reacts when he gets hit on the chin. Okay? We don't know that about David Price. And I would challenge anybody anybody, any boxing expert, to tell me that they know how David Price is going to react when he gets hit on the chin by somebody who actually can punch. Audley's problem is that he fights scared, and a lot of people will say he fights scared. And he's now 40 years old, so age catches up. He's not going to be prime Audley. The question is, has Audley left it too late? Now Audley's talking about him coming back being a world-class athlete. So what he basically said, that in previous fights he's not been a world-class athlete, and that in this camp he's gone away, he's done the training, he's locked himself away, and now he's ready. Question marks are this: if it's true that he hasn't gone to training camp away from his family, that it seems that he hasn't put paid the price, pardon the expression, and put the sacrifices in necessary for him to train diligently. Audley's been a man who's always been in control of his career, and I think that probably is the same situation inside the gym. He says that he was training with Deontay Wilder, who's had 26 fights and 26 knockouts, and he says that he got beat up in gym, and he beat up people in gym. Okay, the question is, who did he beat up in gym, and who was he getting beaten up with in gym? He says that Deontay Wilder hit like an ox. Yeah, Deontay Wilder may have hit like an ox, but did Deontay Wilder hit like an ox, connect on Audley and drop him and hurt him badly, or did Audley beat up Deontay Wilder? He hasn't revealed that to us. The other strange thing about all these quotes at the moment is he's saying things like, the only person that can retire me is David Price. What? The only person that can retire me is David Price. Is Audley now telling us already something different, or is he playing mind games? I don't know. Is he trying to make Price think that, it's an easy fight? Now, the other thing about David Price, he has grown, in terms of stature and confidence as a fighter. But for me, I always thought he was a fighter that lacked confidence. Earlier in his career, he looked like a fighter who lacked a lot of confidence, and suddenly he's got all this confidence. I want to see if Audley comes out right. I mean, just for this fight, if he comes out right, and he comes out without injuries, no excuses, and he hasn't cried wolf this time, and he actually is on the starting line, and he wants to fight, what sort of a challenge does he bring to David Price? The best possible Audley Harrison. The question for me is, again, has Audley left it too late? I don't know whether it's a tough one, because I actually think Audley's going to come and fight in this fight. I actually do think he'll come and fight for this particular fight. I actually think he will, because it's his last fight. So I actually think he will put it on the line and put on a show. And he knows himself, Audley. He can't keep saying what he's saying because people won't believe him. But let's flip the script a second. Let's imagine that Audley does pull off that left hand. Let's imagine Audley does hurt David Price. Let's imagine Audley does knock David Price out. What happens? What happens then? Where'd you class David Price? Can he come back again? For Audley, if he gets knocked out by Price, okay, he's done. He goes into the sunset as a guy who never won the world heavyweight title and failed to deliver. Fine. And a lot of guys have seen it that way. But if Audley were to turn around and cause a sensation, which for me is very possible. It's very possible because Price is still an unknown quantity as a pro. And I'll keep on repeating this. And the guys he fought so far have been orthodox boxers. This guy is a southpaw and he can box. Audley can box. Alright? It's just a case of what's left with Audley. Alright? So I'm actually going with Audley with this fight. Despite everything else, I'm still going with Audley for this fight. For this particular fight, I think Price hasn't fought anybody yet with the boxing ability of Audley. Yes, I know a lot of people say Price will knock Audley out, and I can understand their thinking. But for me, Price, I know more about Audley than I know about Price. Okay, Price is the guy up, and Price should, according to everybody else, and a lot of the boxing experts, he should win the fight. But I'm not actually going with that, and a lot of people know what I'm like as in my boxing predictions. I'm always prepared to stick my neck out. I did stick my neck out with the Khan fight. I did stick my neck out on the line with the Chisora fight and got it wrong. But I've got no problems with that. I've got no problems giving the other guy a chance. I just think that this time, so many times in the past, all this cried wolf. But for this particular fight, I believe he's going to be ready. I do believe he's going to be ready. Another point of view is somebody who shared the ring with Audley Harrison. This opponent said that Audley's legs are not what they used to be, and he won't go past 6 rounds. He's not fit enough. Okay, I won't reveal the opponent's name, but what I will tell you is this. Based on this, what I will tell you is this. Price hasn't done 12 rounds, but he's a fit man. Audley hasn't done 12 rounds, and I question whether his legs will take him 12 rounds. I think if Audley's going to win this fight, he has to do it within the first 6 rounds. That's it. He has to do it within the first 6 rounds. If Audley can frustrate David Price and nullify his punches, if he can do that, now he's got the boxing ability to do it, and he can use that left hand, and he can hurt Price early, I can see Audley causing the upset. Let me know what you guys think. It'd be interesting to hear what you think, and I know a lot of you guys are going to say, yeah, Audley's going to get blown away. As I said, I agree, he probably could get blown away. But for this particular fight, I'm going with Audley Harrison. I didn't go with Audley for the David Haye fight. I thought David Haye would win the fight. But with this fight, I'm going with Audley. Okay, this is the Boxing Hangout. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/user/theboxinghangout. Of course, don't forget to also subscribe to us on Twitter. It's Boxing Hangout. I'm out.